Welcome to the Oak Grove Podcast. I'm Elizabeth Loughran, the Director of Children's Ministry here at Oak Grove United Methodist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm joined by two very special guests, Colin and Graham. Welcome. Would you like to say hello?
Hello.
We'll get to know them better in just a little bit longer. But first, I want to share what we're doing in our podcast this series. We've been talking about Christmas, and specifically, we've been talking about different people in the Christmas story. This week, we're going to hear about Joseph and how he features in the Christmas story. But now it's time to get to know our guests. So, Colin, what grade are you in? Tell us about your family.
I'm in third grade. My mom is a woman from Vietnam. Her dad came here during the Vietnam War, and they were refugees. My mom met my dad at Sanford, and then they just got to know each other and eventually got married. And a few years after that, they had me. I'm in third grade. I'm in Miss Citrana's class, and I'm half American, half Asian.
Very cool. Thank you. What a great introduction. Is there anyone else in your family you want to mention?
My sister is 6 years old. She loves soccer. She's very silly, very sneaky, and I kind of like her.
Well, how about you tell us about yourself, Graham?
I am Graham Baker. I like soccer. My mommy has a job. She is a realtor. My dad works at Rooms to Go. He moves stuff into people's houses. And I have some other people in my house.
Oh.
I have my two dogs. That's
Who
all.
are they?
Joshi is a Great Dane, which is black and white. And Stoic is, I can't remember. And I like fishes, and I'm excited to do this podcast and talk about Christmas and stuff.
Well, are we ready to talk about Christmas?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. So, Graham, would you like to share what you love about Christmas?
I like being with my friends and families, and sometimes the presents, but that's not really the point about Christmas. It's about the point is being with your friends and family. And I have a special tradition where I eat this kind of meat thing, which I don't know what it is, but it's some kind of meat thing that I have with egg or
All
something.
Some traditions that I have for Christmas are we always open presents. At about December 1st to 15th, we start decorating our Christmas tree with ornaments like Santa surfing on something, Santa in a shop. Well, Santa is surfing on a remote.
What?
And then I, of course, love the presents. And we also usually go to my grandmother's house or travel to meet family somewhere. Last Christmas, we went to my aunt's house, but not on my dad's side. We also go to my mother's grandfather, who's a veteran. He lives in Texas. And a few Christmases ago, we met him, and I got to chop sugar canes and lift weights. It was very memorable.
It sounds like it. That's a lot of traveling you do.
Yes, we do a lot of traveling. Also, one time in Tennessee when we went sledding on a hill because it was snowing in the winter. It was Christmas. It was -3 degrees.
Wow.
And
Super cold.
we went sledding and some of them went into the road.
Uh-oh. Were they okay?
Yes, it was extremely fun.
It sounds
I
like
have
it.
a question. How much clothes did you have to wear since it was super cold?
Oh, that's a good question. So
I
how many
think
layers did you have on?
I think I had about 3. My base layer, my inside layer, and then my outer layer.
Thank you for sharing about that. And also, I haven't thanked you for even being here today. So thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
I would love to hear, you had shared a story a little earlier, Graham, about how you decorate your own room for Christmas. Do you want to share with our listeners what happens?
Yes. Every first day of when we decorate, I have a little suitcase full of decorations that are supposed to go in my room,
Mhm.
and I wake up early, I start decorating, and like this little Christmas tree, I have a blue one that's sparkly, and I have some Sesame Street ornaments, which are my favorite to put on, and I have some Hello Kitty ones, and I forgot the rest, but
that's okay. There's something really special about these ornaments that kind of connects with why Christmas is important to you. I think it's because they belong to someone before they belong to you, right?
yes.
Who did they belong to?
Most of the decorations belong to my mommy.
And that makes them more special, right?
And we start decorating our real Christmas tree mostly when we first get it.
Okay.
But I guess I can't really remember last Christmas, but we usually just bring it in and we probably don't have any more time to decorate it. But if we don't have time, we probably have to do it on the second day. The second day of Christmas, I decorated my Christmas tree.
A new verse. Well, I love hearing these stories. What I'm hearing is a lot of getting ready for Christmas. Even though it's not Christmas yet, it sounds like the exciting part is just getting ready.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
Yeah, I like decorating.
Yeah.
I wait for I'm so excited for my presents to get here. I also love how we light Advent candles and open our Advent calendars.
Oh, very nice. Do you do the same Advent calendar every year, or do you get new ones every year?
We usually get new ones, but if I get one I like, I probably could get it again. I just don't know if my mom would object.
How about you? Do you have some traditions like that, Graham?
Well, we have like a little Christmas tree thing that she made, that Mommy made that she got for a garage sale. I can't really remember. And it's like, and it has little doors of each day.
Oh, how cool.
Until the last day of Christmas.
Okay.
And every day she basically buys something or buys something new, and like always there's always some little surprise in it.
I love that.
So there's like a little toy, or sometimes she puts a little message in there, and then it's like a little treasure hunt where I have to go and find it, and she gives me some clues. Like this is an example: under your bed, sweet and sour. So I would not know what that would be, but probably that means it's under my bed.
Okay.
And it has something sweet and sour.
So if
Sour Patch.
So if it's a message like that, it could be some sour gummy worms.
Or maybe some lemon juice. Would she put lemon juice under your bed? No. I am really loving hearing all the stories about getting ready for Christmas. And that's really what we're doing in the church season before Christmas. Do you remember? I think you already named what that season is called.
Advent.
Yeah, Advent. It's the 4 weeks that lead up to Christmas. And that's the time where we're getting ready. And all that time during Advent when we're getting ready, it's kind of like an early celebration in a way, right? It's all these things that are kind of pointing our focus and our thoughts about what's going to happen on Christmas. Right?
When does Advent start exactly?
It's going to start on December 1st.
December 1st. But 7 times 4 is 28, and Christmas is the 25th.
That's a great question. How do you work the math out in the church year? How that works is whenever Christmas Day falls in the week, the 4 Sundays before that are the 4 Sundays of Advent. And those Sundays start the weeks of Advent. So it's going to change every year. It's not always December 1st. It happens to be December 1st this year.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Are we ready to talk a little bit about the Christmas story that we have today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I have brought a Bible here for our podcast, and I'm going to have each of you read a section from the Bible. Graham, could you read the name of this book?
Matthew.
Very good. And what chapter are we going to start from?
1.
Very good. All right. And if you will start with the words "an angel" and read where it's marked.
An angel from the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, "Joseph, son of David, don't be afraid to take Mary as your wife, because the child she carries was conceived by the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you will call him Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. When Joseph woke up, he did just as angel from God commanded, and took Mary as his wife.
Very good. Thank you so much. And Colin, if you would read from this book. What's the name?
Luke.
Very good. And chapter
2.
And we're going to start with verse
1.
Very good.
In those days, Caesar Augustus declared that everyone throughout the empire should be enrolled in the tax lists. The first enrollment occurred when Quirinius governed Syria. Everyone went to their own cities to be enrolled. Since Joseph belonged to David's house and family line, he went up to the city of Nazareth in Galilee to David's city called Bethlehem in Judea. He went to be enrolled together with Mary, who was promised to him in marriage and who was pregnant. While they were there, the time came for Mary to have her baby. She gave birth to a firstborn child, a son, wrapped him snugly, and laid him in a manger because there was no place for them in the guest room.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful reading. Thank you, both of you. All right, so let's go back and talk about what happens in Matthew. I know sometimes it's hard to listen and read at the same time, so I'll remind us of the very beginning. There's an angel of the Lord who comes to Joseph in a dream. So what's Joseph doing in this story? When do we dream?
Right.
When you were sleeping.
Yeah, when we're asleep. So what's Joseph doing at this point?
He's basically dreaming, and an angel is coming to him.
That's right.
In kind of like a vision, and the angel is telling him to marry Mary, the woman, who will have Jesus.
That's right. So how do you think Joseph feels about this?
He
Happy?
would probably feel scared, a bit surprised, and maybe a bit joyful.
Mm-hmm.
If you could ask Joseph a question when he woke up from this dream, what kind of question would you ask him?
Are you happy?
And what do you think he'd say?
Yes.
What do you think would make Joseph happy? What part of the news? Do you think getting married or
Having a baby?
having a baby would make him happy? Babies do make people pretty happy, right?
Yes,
My mommy and daddy are very happy because they had me.
Aw, that's very sweet.
So the question I would have for Joseph after the dream, or questions for that matter, is probably, what did you dream of? And when he answered, I would ask him, how did you feel once you had that vision and the angel spoke to you? And what happened after the angel spoke to you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you think he wanted to follow directions right away, or do you think he wanted to do his own thing?
I'm not very sure. It was probably a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had a dream where an angel came and told you what to do?
No.
Yeah, I have not had a dream like that either. We've talked about what happens in Matthew. Let's talk a little bit about what happens in Luke. So this is the part that Colin read, and it had a lot of words that we don't use all the time, like Caesar Augustus and Quirinius, who was in charge of the area called Syria, right? And then we heard some other cities, Nazareth, Galilee, Bethlehem, Judea. Yeah. But in all of those big words, what's happening is somebody is making Joseph and Mary and all the people go to a certain place so that they can be counted, so that they can pay a tax, right?
Yes.
And so they do that. They're following directions just like everybody else. When they get there, what happens?
When they get there, Mary has her baby in a manger at a stable because the guest room in the inn was too crowded.
Yeah. So if you're Joseph and your new wife, Mary, is, very pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably hard for her. She's probably a little uncomfortable, even if she's excited.
In pain.
She might be in some pain.
Birth.
Yeah. So if you're Joseph and this is what's happening, and you can't find a place for this baby to be born, how do you think you're feeling?
I would feel scared for Mary, and I would also feel scared for the baby.
Okay. How about you, Graham? What do you think?
So, like, you probably feel scared because you have nowhere to comfort the baby. I don't
Yeah.
even know how I even came out of my mommy's belly.
So Joseph is feeling scared about what would happen because there's no place for Jesus to be born. He's probably working pretty hard to find somewhere, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet they probably, before having the baby, they would try to find a place at an inn.
Mm-hmm. And then they finally find somewhere.
In a
Now, how
manger.
is Joseph feeling?
Happy?
Probably a bit better, but I don't know how he would feel if his baby was born in a manger.
Well,
Probably better if there was nowhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
better
and-
than nothing.
It is better than nothing, that's for sure. And it doesn't sound like in the story we don't hear about, that they were interrupted or bothered or anything like that. So maybe it wasn't so bad.
Well,
Yeah.
like,
The pain might have been less if she had doctors, but since it wasn't crowded, there was no one disturbing her baby. Her baby would be fine, basically.
was it in a barn? Kind of like a barn?
Yeah, that's kind of what we imagine, a place where
A
animals
stable.
would live.
So probably the animals would be happy to see it.
You think so?
You
You think animals like babies?
Yes.
Maybe. I'm not sure, though.
Well, is there anything else about Joseph that you can think that you would like to share with our listeners?
How old was Joseph exactly when he
I'm not sure exactly.
had his first son?
I don't know how old he was. It doesn't tell us exactly how old he is. Do you think you have a guess?
Maybe in his early 40s,
Okay.
early 50s, probably around that age.
Okay. What makes you think that?
I've just seen pictures. He looks kind of like 30s.
Oh,
50s.
so those pictures aren't real pictures though, right? They're just like an artist's guess, what they think
Yeah.
Joseph might have looked like. So
It's hard to do historical records from how many? 2024 years away, I think.
Wow.
well, sure. That's a good guess, and we don't know exactly. So the thing that happens in Joseph's story is actually something that you have both been talking about, what you love about Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
What?
No.
It's the getting ready part.
Yeah.
A big part of Joseph's story is that he's participating in getting things ready, right? He's probably making sure that Mary's doing okay. He's looking for a place for her to give birth. He's making sure he's getting married to her.
Okay.
You know?
He's tugging the donkey that was holding Mary.
He may have
that
been,
Mary
yeah.
was sitting on. Well, I've seen pictures of that before.
Right. And you both shared how much you love getting ready too.
It's very fun. I especially love to reach up and hang the ornaments on the Christmas tree.
And the best part is putting on the star.
I know we have more favorite things that you want to share about. Graham, would you like to share those with us?
Yes.
Go for it.
My elf's name is Elfie. And I wake up early, like when I decorated, I wake up early, and then every day when he's out, I go on a little elf hunt where I have to go where you have to go and find him and see where he is. I'd never really seen him do something crazy, but I think we have had a coincidence with him before. I have no idea, but I think it was a coincidence down in the playroom.
Oh, did
I
Elfie
think-
get into some trouble down there?
Yes, I think he did.
Uh-oh. Do you want to share what happened?
I can't remember, but I guess he messed up some of the toys.
Oh, dear.
He didn't at least break them. I think a leprechaun is badder than him.
You know,
worse.
when Santa comes to my house for my children, the reindeer always seem to come inside and leave carrots chewed up everywhere.
What?
I know. Isn't that kind of messy?
No. So probably Santa says,
So,
"Okay, reindeer, it's time to eat your snacks."
do you have any other things about Christmas you'd like to share?
So at Christmas, we don't really have a feast, but I know tradition. Some Christians have a feast with ham. I think ham.
There's lots of kinds of food all over the world that are special at Christmas.
We don't really have a feast, but we love celebrating it. We love to open presents. My mom also gives us special pajamas, and we take pictures with it. I love those.
Group picture.
Mm-hmm. do you think everybody loves Christmas so much? What do you think, Graham?
Because you get to be with your friends and family, and you get to see the jolliest person in the world.
Who's the jolliest person in the world?
Ho, 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 it's Santa Claus.
I think the kids love Christmas because they get to open presents and have fun with their family. Some families have different traditions, like they decorate their Christmas trees, other things like that. I think grown-ups love Christmas because it's a time to be with your family, to celebrate the birth of Jesus, the Holy One. And yeah.
These are great thoughts. I really appreciate both of you sharing so many wonderful stories about the past Christmases you've experienced and things that you're looking forward to. And I think you're going to have a great time this season getting ready. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds like you've got lots to do. Let's close out our podcast with these words. Ready?
God is with us. We are not alone. Thanks be to God.
Thank you for watching our podcast today. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching our podcast.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for joining me today. This was a great conversation. It's such a good time getting to know what's important to you about Christmas and getting to know your thoughts about Joseph. And to our listeners, I want to invite you to our Christmas Eve services. We have a traveler's service if you're going out of town on December 19th at 6:30 p.m. in the Fellowship Hall. On Christmas Eve, we have several services. We have a service for children by children at 3 p.m. in the sanctuary.
Yes, I can.
You can't wait. We also have 2 services at 5 p.m., a modern and a traditional. Those are both streamed. So if you can't come in person, you can join us online. And then we have an in-person service in the sanctuary, a traditional service at 8 p.m. that night. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast series. Merry Christmas. Goodbye.